Video, we'll see few fundamentals of human nature and we'll understand how to use some techniques to leverage those fundamentals and help while we talk to people. So going to the fundamentals, the very basic fundamental of human nature is feeling important. And this is the constant human urge. Everybody wants to feel important. The next fundamental of human nature is interest in themselves. So everybody is interested in themselves, and call it selfish, but that's a human nature. Everybody is more interested in themselves rather than others. So that is the other fundamental of human nature. The third is law of equal returns, which means whatever you give, that comes back to you in multiples. So for example, the favors are reciprocated. If you do somebody a favor, they will try to find an opportunity to return it back. People like compliments, and again they find opportunity to return it, but a caveat here, the compliment should be sincere, and we'll see how to make compliments sincere in this video. People act unfriendly if you are aloof and distant. So same law apply to negative scenarios as well. If you are unfriendly, if you are aloof, if you are distant, people will be more unfriendly because it comes back in multiples. Make people feel more important than you. So this is another fundamental where everybody wants to feel more important than others. So if you are able to make people feel more important than you, then this is going to be great. Now these are the fundamentals of human nature. Now very basic thing that we saw is people want to feel important, and we'll see how we can do that. So making people feel important, there are few techniques for this. Technique number one is by giving sincere compliments. Now compliments can be given on multiple things. For example, behavior, appearance, or possessions. Out of these, the compliments on behavior is most persuasive. So by behavior, what I can say, for example, hey Tony, you are a great trainer. That is a compliment on their behavior. Similarly, on appearance, we can tell that I know you're looking great. Similarly, on possessions, we can tell about something they possess, that it's a great possession. But wait, these are not all sincere compliments. There are few techniques that we can use to make the compliment sincere. So one of them is to use the name. So to whoever the compliment is directed, use their name. That makes it more personal and more sincere. The other technique is what why technique. So if you saw the previous examples, there we just use what. Tony, you're a great trainer. You are looking good. These are all what we are complimenting about, but we have never covered why. And that's one thing which makes the compliment not sincere. So to make it more sincere, we can cover why along with what. So hear me out. Tony, you are a great trainer because you provide personal attention to each of your trainees. There we go. We have covered why. You are looking great today because the clothes you are wearing, they are complementing your body. Again, there is a why, and that's why the compliment is more sincere. So that was one technique to make people feel important. Giving sincere compliments. The other is listen effectively. You You should listen effectively to people. You have to be a good listener. The other technique is saying thank you. So whenever you feel that somebody has done something for you, you should say thank you. Now there are multiple ways. The best way to say thank you is to write a thank you note. But I understand that is not possible always. So next best is to say thank you in person. If even that is not feasible, then call them and say thank you. And the worst way is to text, write on WhatsApp or SMS. Another technique to make people feel important is remember their name. And everybody likes their name. Everybody likes to be called by their name. So if you remember people's name, this will make them feel very important. Now there are some certain techniques which you can use to remember people's names. So I have heard there is this common problem where when we are meeting somebody for the first time, we forget their name immediately. So what we can do to remember their name? First thing, repeat their name twice when introduced. Right? So when somebody introduces themselves to you, you can say, Susan, nice to meet you, Susan. Second, turn their name into an object. So try to associate their name with a object, any object. So here one example is, if somebody's name is Jack, you can think of car jack to associate their name with that object. And third and most impactful is create a ridiculous scene by imagining the object interacting with a prominent feature of that person. So in the previous example, the person name was Jack and the object was car jack. So we can find one of their prominent features. For example, they have a prominent chin. Then we can imagine a car jack is jacking their chin up. I know it's ridiculous, but the more ridiculous it is, the more likelihood of remembering their name will be there. So these are few ways to remember people's name. So we covered two fundamentals here. One is fundamentals of human nature, where they want to feel important, they are interested in themselves. We saw the law of equal returns. And then we also saw how we can leverage few techniques to make people feel important by giving them sincere compliments, by listening them effectively, by saying thank you, and by remembering their names.